or one more? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks everybody for coming. And, I think tragedies like this or disasters like this also bring out, I think, sometimes the best in humanity. Some people think America's a bad place and we're full of bad people, and I think just the opposite. I come here and I see people from all over the state. When we had the tornadoes hit Bowling Green, some of the first people I saw were police officers from Lexington in Bowling Green helping us out. I arrive here and I go by the command center, and the first guy I meet is a Lexington firefighter who's here in charge of security. But I've known Chris Fugate for a long time. He's a pastor here. And ironically, I heard about some of the great works they were doing here in one of the national publications who had done a story. But I wanted to introduce Pastor Fugate to let you know and maybe let the public know some of the things that he could use as far as helping people in the community.
Thank you, Senator Paul. And I just want to say thanks to anybody that's watching this for helping our people here in East Kentucky. As you can tell behind me, there's a lot of people working today, and our church family has been working for 9-10 days now, and we've got help from Scott County today, from Lexington church in Lexington, my brother's church, Clays Mill Baptist Church. And so really supplies have come in, and our main focus now is to start getting supplies out to people who can't get in here to get them. So some of our guys in church have organized a group that will go out today with trucks and trailers, and we'll set up in different locations throughout the county and counties, not just our county, but Perry, Breath, Letcher counties, to try to get supplies up into the hollers. And we've got side-by-sides and four-wheelers that people are going to bring in and start going into the hollers and delivering food and water and whatever, cleaning supplies, whatever else is needed. I guess right now the big thing that's needed the most is maybe some dehumidifiers, mold killer. We've got in the future we're going to need furniture and different types of mattresses and stuff like that. But right now, cleaning supplies, buckets, mops and brooms and stuff like that is the biggest thing.
You've been helping people who don't have a place to live. Some are staying here.
Yes, we've had about almost 300 people that's came through our shelter, through our church. We had, I think, 62 last night that stayed here, and different families, mostly from Breathitt County area, because they were airlifted, rescued by chopper, and then
church here for the long haul. We are too. We're here to help people. We've had people from my office here from day one, and but I'm proud of Kentucky, and we're going to help everybody recover, and we will get through this.
What are some of the things that have come to you? What have people told you or needs, just like this pastor mentioned?
We just met with some of the first responders and city leaders, and one of the things is obviously money to clean up, and there's a lot of money that was dispensed for COVID. So I'm sending a letter to President Biden today asking him to have a waiver so all communities can use their COVID money for disaster relief. I think if a disaster's been declared in a county, that there should be more freedom for the county to use the money in any way they see fit to get over the disaster. They're talking about a lot of water problems and a lot of water systems that need repair. I think that emergency money, the president should give them a waiver because they have some money that's already been sent for COVID, that they may think the water system's more pressing right now than testing for COVID. The other thing is we're going to send a letter to the governor. A lot of the COVID money goes, and Chris maybe ought to comment on this from various points of view, it goes through the state to the governor. We're sending a letter to the governor asking him to free up as soon as possible that COVID money and let the communities decide how to spend it. Do you have a comment on that, Chris?
I would agree with that. I mean, I think that all the monetary resources that have been sent our way, if we could use that for, whatever's needed clean up and getting people back in houses, sending us housing that would allow people to go back out to their communities. I agree with everything you said.
Anybody else?
Senator, what have average people been?
We got to, squeaky wheel gets the grease, and so we're going to be part of that. I said we're writing a letter to the president, but we're also writing a letter to the governor to get the money as soon as possible and to free it up to let the counties make the decisions best to use it. And it sounds to me like the most pressing thing is the water systems, getting the water systems up and running. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
So typically after natural disasters like you hear, there's a surge of support immediately after. But
Part of that solution for a long time, and in my role as a state legislator, I was asked the other day by someone that do I think this is going to put a hardship on the state of Kentucky financially, and my response was, we this past session we had a lot of money, federal money, that people were saying spend it, spend it, spend it, spend it, but we didn't spend it. We put it in a surplus fund, and we had a surplus of $530 million for this year, and then another $530 for next year. And so I'm glad that we didn't listen to spend it, spend it, spend it.
Disaster area, anything for the disaster, your local county could spend it. That will be an immediate influx of quite a bit of money, and then there may be something more the state legislature does. But thank you all for coming out.
Senator, a lot of people are wondering about your thoughts about the FBI raid. Would you care to comment?
I think we're going to stay away from politics for now, but thanks. We do have a tweet. If you want to look at our tweet.